So yeah, the first question would just be, what stage?
Am I this way or this way?
This way. So, what stage is Scottish football at just now?
In terms of
just of like how the game's developed and what level we're playing at.
I think it's twofold question, twofold answer, and you have to look one at the national side. Where are we with the national side? We haven't qualified for a major championship since 1998, so therefore you would have to say we're not where we want to be. So therefore there's got to be a massive amount of development there. The knock-on question for that is where do you get the players to the national team, and then you look at the club sides, and I think slowly what's happening with the club sides, we have been, other than Celtic, we've been completely non-competitive in European terms. We can't even qualify for the other competitions. So from that point of view, we're now getting to the stage where the clubs realise they have to invest in young players, and my hope is that we will go full circle and we'll start to produce players of our own quality. We've seen the youth teams are doing well, the Scottish under 16 teams, under 17 teams have been doing well, and my hope is that the need for local talent will mean that we will develop these guys and therefore become we'll have a much bigger pool of players to choose from. And the big problem we always have is that from under 17 level up to under 21 and senior levels, we never seem to bridge that gap. So I think we need to work on that, look at the examples of Iceland and other countries, Croatia, and see what they're doing, and hopefully take it on from there.
Yeah. Would you say the money Scottish teams receive from Celtic playing in the Champions League is vital for the growth of Scottish football?
Yep, absolutely. I think any investment from legitimate sources would be the caveat you put. Any investment in the game is more than desirable, because Scottish football at a grassroots level certainly needs it. We need to be able to provide people with facilities, and more importantly, what you read from other countries is the coaching level to provide these guys, provide the talent with the right set of skills and the right mentoring to get them up to the level that we need, so that they become competitive and hopefully provide us with an Iceland type trip to a World Cup or something like that.
Yeah. So all this financial boosting to the Scottish leagues, will this ever provide Celtic with competition in the Premiership?
I think it will come. I'm not sure that Celtic now Celtic have always been and were alongside Rangers. They were always far in advance of the other clubs in terms of finances. I don't think that necessarily it will help close the gap as such. I don't think that. Obviously, any money knock-on effect is good for the other clubs, so hopefully that improves their competitive standards. But I think the gap is now such that we'll probably, I can't see in the next 10 years the gap closing hugely. Aberdeen came as close as they could get, and even they couldn't. They had the biggest opportunity to win the league a couple of years ago, and they couldn't do it then. So I'm afraid that the competitive nature of the league has to be looked at in other ways, I'd say.
Yeah, you sort of touched on it briefly, but what area requires the most funding to improve Scottish football?
I think funding, it really depends. To me, the funding, from what I've heard from other countries, is the funding for coaching and the right kind of type of coaching. Iceland, for example, will refuse they won't have any parents coaching. They will have all FIFA A licensed coaches doing all the coaching, and it's beginning to show. It's an investment in the future. It's been 10, 15 years, but they have changed the way that they play football. They've now qualified for the last 2 tournaments. So, and there's nothing. It's a smaller scale country than ours, but there's absolutely no reason why we can't do anything similar to it. They will open up the facilities, their indoor facilities, to the locals, so they can go and use them. I think in this country we'd be too terrified of doing that because for fear of vandals and things like that. But sometimes you have to take that kind of risk in order to have the benefit. Gordon Strachan often talked about why are we sending people to Ross County for 3 hours on a bus when they could be playing 2 games against a team locally. And I kind of agree with that. You know, it's like anything. If you practice more, you're going to get better at it. And I think that's where we're kind of maybe letting ourselves down.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I think I meandered away from you.